Hey, what's up YouTube? It's Saleh from TechNuts and welcome to the review of the Huawei Ascend Mate. This is Huawei's first phone in the phablet market, so let's see how they compare against the like of Samsung, Sony and HTC. But before I start off the review guys, let's quickly take a second out to thank Vodafone. If you want to look for a new phone plan, then please do check the description box below. So the first thing you see is the front of the screen has a massive 6.1 inch screen. I'll talk about the resolution later on. At the back you get the 8 megapixel camera, speaker, LED flash. And let's have a look at the bottom of the device. You get microphone, which is a primary one, along with micro USB for charging and data sync. At the top we have the 3.5mm jack, along with the secondary microphone and micro SIM card slot. On the left hand side we have a slot for micro SD, which can hold up to 64GB of data. Turning around the opposite side we have the volume rocker, power and lock button. Let's get the specs out of the way first. So this phone boasts a massive 6.1 inch IPS LCD screen with a resolution of 1280 by 720, which gives you a moderate PPI of 241. Also has Corning Gorilla Glass. The phone also has a quad-core processor clocked in at 1.5 GHz along with 2 GB of RAM. The bad thing about this phone is internal storage is only 8 GB. Would have liked to see a 16 at least. So, you know, it's pretty much certain that you have to invest yourself in a micro SD card, whether it be an 8 gig, 16 or the larger 64 GB. It comes with Android Jelly Bean 4.1 but is upgradable to 4.2. Unfortunately the back is non-removable, so you can't buy a new battery. However, this phone does come with a whopping 4050 mAh battery, which gives you a day's use, a day and a half I would say, and a day's full-on use. I was using YouTube, video playback, music playback, the screen on probably on about 75% brightness or 80%, and I definitely got a full day's out of it, which is more than enough. The phone is generally quite smooth. However, sometimes when I touch a button on the screen, I do realize that it don't respond the first time. I believe this is due to Huawei Emotion 1.5. It's still at the very beginning stage, and I believe they need more refinements such as the Samsung TouchWiz or HTC Sense UI. Huawei jumped straight into the 6-inch category. They didn't even try testing the 5-inch, for example, 5.7, 5.8. It is really big. It does fit in a pocket, but it does leave a huge bulge, which might be good for some people. No pun intended. But because of the 6.1-inch screen, you do get really nice real estate. Viewing web pages, browsing web pages, looking at pictures is really, really nice. I've got T3 open at the moment, and the rendering times are not as fast as I thought it would be. I've tried it with my Samsung Galaxy S4 side by side, and this does take a little bit longer to load up. But once you load the page and once the image is available, as you can see, the picture quality is very, very good. And because you have the extra inch or 1.5 inch of real estate compared to your normal smartphone, it does make that viewing experience a lot better. Oh man, this is my jam. I love this tune. Get in there, lovely tune. Okay, let's get back to the review. I can't embarrass myself. Okay, so talking about gaming on this phone. Gaming is very good. As you can see, I've got Riptide open at the moment. I'm playing it. I don't have any sort of frame rate issues or lag. It's playing really well. The frame rate and water seem to be pretty good. We've got really good texture on there. Movement is smooth. However, Riptide has become quite an old game now, and I decided to download a newer game, Real Racing 3, and the result is not what I expected. Going on to Real Racing, I'm not sure if the camera picks it up. The graphics looks really nice even on the 720p display. However, once I'm actually going through the course and changing cameras, so I'm just inside the cockpit now, and there is a lag in there. So there is clearly a frame rate issue. It is playable, but it's not as smooth as Riptide. So high-end games such as Real Racing 3 and Dead Trigger or more intensive games will not run as smooth on this device. Moving on to the video and image quality, this phone does have a 8 megapixel sensor along with autofocus and LED flash, and also records video at 1080p at 30 frames per second with the primary camera. And at the front facing camera you get 1 megapixel, which is pretty mediocre, but it records in 720p at 30 frames per second. So the image quality, as long as you have decent lighting or if you're outside in a normal lit environment, it's pretty good. But once it gets slightly darker, yeah, the picture becomes really, really grainy, and it don't seem like it's an 8 megapixel sensor, more like in the 5 megapixel region. Once you have decent lighting condition, once you're recording a 1080p video, it does look very good. Autofocus takes a bit of time, but once it does focus, it does look very good, and the image and text appear to be very, very sharp. Okay guys, that was a review of the Huawei Ascend Mate. I only had two problems with this device. The camera could have been better, and sometimes the touch screen does not respond on your first attempt, but that is only very, very little, about 5% of the time I found that happening. Okay guys, if you found this review decent to watch, don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.